Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Strength Solutions Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Also, if you're on YouTube right now, smash that like button as hard as you can.
Smash it. Smash
Give it that goody good stuff. Also, subscribe down below. Our website is strengthsolutionspodcast.com. On there, you can find free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. So we have how to build a bigger butt on there, how to build a bigger arm for free on there, nutrition guides. Check it out. Then if you're looking for a place to email us future fitness questions, it's strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. And then if you're looking for us on social media, it's Strength Solutions Podcast on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. On Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
All right, guys, we have two special guests.
Oh, yeah.
They're a little bit crazy right now.
We're nervous.
I'll let them introduce themselves. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carina. And
I'm Kendall. And today I'm really interested and excited about learning, like, for my main focus and what I've been kind of interested in is learning form after an injury, which is like such a prominent thing for me right now.
Okay.
So what injury do you have personally?
So like 3-4 years ago, I was in a four-wheeling accident and I dislocated my hip. So I was on crutches.
Shit.
And so I went to physical therapy. And so now one leg is longer than the other.
what?
No shot.
Have you not seen her walk?
Oh, no, I don't hate
She's
this.
all fucked
Yeah.
up.
It's fine. But yeah.
Four-wheeling accident?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was with one of my friends and we were going up a hill, which we had gone down multiple times. We literally went the night before.
Okay.
And we went up a hill and we tried to jump. And so keep in mind, the four-wheeler we were on is like a one-seater. Most four-wheelers, at least to my knowledge, are, and the ones I've had. So I was in the back of it and it flipped forward. The four-wheeler ran over me and her and landed on top of me. I was unconscious for like 25 minutes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. Was it painful?
I think I was like in denial for like the first like couple hours and
Yeah.
I just wanted to go to
You're
sleep
like,
because I
I'm
had a
fine.
concussion. I was like, oh, it's not even that bad. And I wake up the next morning, I got stitches across my forehead. I'm on like, I can't move. I'm so sore. And they're telling me that I got to go get crutches and get examined for possible surgery. So
Holy crap,
Yeah.
dude. That's crazy.
Insane.
Have you four-wheeled after that?
no, because they sold them
Oh.
after that. So
Awesome.
yeah, but smart. When I get money for that type of thing, I will be buying another one. So, but one person this time. So
So I'm assuming you're a country girl?
yeah, some would say.
Yeah. Okay.
guess.
Because you don't hear city folk, I got my four-wheeler and I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's my little country girl.
Yeah.
So where'd you grow up at?
In San Antonio, I lived in Floresville for a while, but here
That's the accent I hear. Okay.
there's no accent.
Nope.
You do,
You're,
baby.
yep. There's a
Yep,
huge
straight
one.
Floresville accent. Straight.
I've always
No, I'll play
wondered
with you.
if like people from San Antonio or Texas have accents too, but everybody's always told me no.
I think they have like a small
y'all need to leave the state of Texas.
Yeah, I whenever I was in school, like people who weren't from here, I'd ask them, and they'd be like, they would always tell me that in the past, like if they were older, that we used to have crazy accents, and everybody in Texas had an accent, but now it's a lot more fleshed out. There isn't as much of it anymore, which I think is interesting. But whatever, you still got it. Sounds cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so with this injury, you said one leg's longer than the other. Like they x-rayed and actually showed you that one leg's longer, or does it feel like one leg's longer than the other?
No, like one leg is like one of my legs is like almost an inch like longer than the other. And
Is
so-
that genetic, or did they remove something?
No, that was literally from my crash. My hip still hasn't gotten back to what it used to be. And they said because of all the scar tissue, I'm no doctor, but from my understanding from like all the scar tissue, and I lost a lot of cartilage. So it like one leg sits higher than the other, like in my hips.
Do you barbell back squat?
I don't do any like squats anymore because of it.
Okay, because I was going to say my recommendation right now would be probably like unilateral exercises as much as possible. Try to start with the leg that feels weaker. And so you start to set, let's say you're doing 8 reps with your left. You know you could do 10s with the right, but you only do 8. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is they start in their strong leg versus their weak leg. So that's something you can do.
How interesting. That's crazy. Is that like your main injury that you're dealing with at the moment?
Yeah, it's the only thing that's like really stayed with me like through anything, because I was in a car accident a year like later, and it was the same injury to my leg again.
You gotta stay out
Sorry,
of
I
cars,
forgot
man.
to mention that. But
Moving
yeah,
vehicles.
Stop driving.
I know, for real. In my defense, the first time was not me driving. So women are bad drivers apparently. So sorry, guys.
Oh, let's not get into that.
I know. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. What about you? Do you have any injuries?
No.
I
Nothing.
did help her one time at the gym.
Okay.
And she was having trouble with her deadlift, and it was at the very bottom of her deadlift.
Oh yes.
What were you
And-
feeling?
I don't know, like a little pinch in my tailbone. It
Okay.
felt like, and it felt like if I move a certain way, that's when I feel the pinch. But that's basically it.
What was the fix that you guys
The
found?
fix was getting the ribs down
Okay.
and literally making sure the core was engaged all the way through, and there's no extension as she was going up through the core, which happens to a lot of people when they
You know,
lift.
it's funny. I find a lot of people do that too, especially when you tell them like, "Hey, keep your back straight" or whatever. They tend to always go full into extension,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, that's the exact opposite of what I need you to do. If anything, I would prefer you to be more rounded, right? I mean, like even I feel like more people need to be in that position than the other one. But okay, interesting. But no major injuries.
No, I think one thing that's been bothering me, I told Edwin this a couple months ago, was that I feel my right leg is the most dominant one, but it feels
Sure.
very dominant compared to the left leg still. Even after months of what you just told me to do the less dominant one first, but
Yeah.
it's
Are you
still
are you
kinda-
left-handed?
No,
No, interesting. Okay.
no.
Yeah. So to me, like, I would have to do more of an assessment because it was a long time ago. But
Yeah.
I would look at maybe doing this. Also helps you, Kendall, as well. Isometric work, and that means using tempo to your advantage. So get to an end range of motion, try to hold it there, and be strong in that end range of motion. So, for example, I'll use my hand. For example, if this is as far as I can go, I'll take a dumbbell and just try to hold it in that position. And then I'll relax and then try to hold that position again so that I can get stronger in that end range of motion. So maybe at the bottom of your Bulgarian split squat, try to sit in that spot, try to develop as much tension through your body for a couple seconds, and then go up slowly. Not fast, but nice and slow, and use tempo to your advantage. I know a lot of
Time
people
under tension.
go too fast, and that'll help connect the chain all the way through.
Well, you said you went to PT.
Yes.
What did they do when you were there?
They did a lot of like hip stretches, but they like trying to get me used to feeling that. But also like something that I didn't even like connect, but having a trainer like tell me a couple weeks ago, even making sure your core is like strong, because that helps a lot with like hip, I guess, workouts and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was like, is that like full on like a true situation? Because like I never like
Seems
made the
kinda
connection.
Fishy. Yeah. I hear you. I think the core is important. I don't know necessarily that it's going to help you in terms of like fixing the issue,
Right.
but I think it'll always is a good thing to work on. And especially if you are ever going to go back into compound lifts and stuff. And if you have an injury, you're going to want to make sure that your core is engaged and working properly to help support you through all of those things coming back from that injury.
Right.
I'm going to ask y'all both a question here. I'll have you go first. Okay. What is y'all's current programming look like? What do you guys do in the gym now? How many days a week are you in the gym? Are you doing like a split? Are you doing full body stuff? Are you doing CrossFit crap?
Booty all day.
Yeah, are you doing
Literally,
booty all day?
I did that for
Yeah.
a fat minute, but I haven't gone to the gym for the past 5 weeks.
Get out.
I know. I had a very important class to take care of,
Okay.
and I wanted to achieve that A, so I
I
sacrificed.
think that's important, right? Priorities, right?
Yeah.
And it's an important conversation to have about like fitness and lifestyle in general. That it ebbs and flows.
Beggars
right? It
cannot
comes
be
and goes.
choosers, I will say. And
Yeah.
so I sacrificed the gym for more time with school.
Yeah,
and
yeah. Did you get the A?
I did.
got
Let's
the A.
fucking
I
go.
got the A.
That didn't matter. Yeah. Where's my applause? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But so I just recently started going back, I think yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
But so far I've just been like doing, legs. And
What did you do in the past then? Before your stint off?
I would do like Mondays every leg day, Tuesdays like every like upper body day.
Okay.
Wednesdays leg day. Thursdays, back
Leg day.
Friday,
Leg day.
leg day.
Okay, so you were kind of doing like a split a little bit there.
Kind of.
Kind of like upper lower.
Yeah, kind of.
A lot of lower.
A lot of lower.
A little more lower than upper.
Focus on the lower.
Okay, got it. And so I'm assuming you were going maybe like 5 days a week, 4 days a week?
Yeah, I would go like 6 days a week even.
Let's fucking go. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, what about over here?
So I was going to say we kind of have the same split because she's the one who got me back into working out after I graduated high school.
Oh.
Because I like graduated, so no more sports for me because I wasn't playing in college.
Yeah.
So we like bounced back into the gym, and like every Sunday, like we did that type of split. We would do yoga as like our rest day. So we were really honestly in the gym 7 days a week. We were doing yoga and then sitting in the sauna and
Let's
walking.
fucking go. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
I think that's not bad, especially if you guys are going that many days a week. A split will actually work.
Yeah.
Did you guys see progress? Did you feel like things
We
changed?
did. We definitely did. We felt stronger.
Okay.
We were also eating chicken and rice every day, so
It was
shit.
it was gross.
That sucks.
Dang, she was a gym bro.
I know,
Dude,
damn.
The university chicken, man.
it was
Don't.
I feel like you
Don't
guys are
eat it.
traumatized.
We are.
Literally.
It's so bad.
It come out raw sometimes.
too burnt,
Yes,
like
too
to a
burnt.
crisp.
It's just called it's medium well. You know,
You just get more antibiotics into your system.
yeah.
Horrible. Oh my God. It's horrible.
You guys can survive salmonella now. Okay, very cool. All right, so then that was how you guys kind of like went back into it. How many years ago was that you guys kind of like?
2 years ago?
Like 2. Oh, we'll be coming on like, almost 3 in
It'll
August.
be almost 3.
That's how long you guys have been working out pretty consistently.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, together. Consistently was like for like a year maybe, and
Okay.
then
We kinda
we
like-
both went our separate ways for a little bit because I moved somewhere else and she moved somewhere else, and it was
Tear.
pretty hard. I
Sad.
know.
I know, it was so,
Yeah.
we cried
We lived
so
We
much.
lived with each other at one point,
Yeah.
so it was pretty hard. It was
Yeah.
pretty hard goodbye, but we had to do what we had to do, and now we try and go again, but it's still kind of our schedules are not matching up
We both work
a lot.
a lot. So, and
That's
then
the way
also
it
doing
is.
school, like for her, that took up a lot of time and like respect, right?
Yeah.
So it took up a lot of her time. So now we're trying to get back into it.
What are you guys going to school for?
I want to be an ultrasound technician.
Dude, I was just reading about that today. They kind of make bank.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I was like,
Imagine.
oh, I didn't know that was.
Yes, that's my goal.
I wasn't familiar with the game. Yeah. Okay, and then what are you going to school for?
I'm finishing up like my prereqs and then I'm going to go into nursing.
Nice.
hopefully,
Okay.
so.
Very cool. Very cool.
Save a life.
Yeah, man. Both healthcare.
Better than me.
No.
Very awesome. Okay, so then you guys have been working out for about 3 years, you said, kind of in total. You said you played sports. Did both of y'all play sports in
I
high
did.
school?
Yeah, I did.
What did you guys do?
I was a swimmer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a swimmer for a long time,
Did
and I
not
also
see
played
that coming.
volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
I know,
Wow.
right? I was pretty good too.
I don't know many swimmers. I think that's the thing. So every time I hear it, I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, ask me to swim right now. I don't know if I can, but
Yeah.
Doggy paddle in the water.
literally, I
Just
haven't
fucking
swam
die.
since I left. But yeah, I was in swimming and volleyball.
Okay.
That's all I did.
Got it.
I played volleyball. That was like my main sport.
Okay.
And then I played some basketball and I also cheered. I did rodeo. So.
Whoa. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. All right.
Oh,
Cool.
there's the four-wheeler part. There it is.
Now we have to dog you for the rest of the
Did you do 4-H?
I did. It was through like Stevensville, so like far away. But it wasn't through 4-H. I did show. I used to barrel race, and I showed animals when I was younger. So we did it through 4-H then. But for my racing, it was through Stevensville.
My girlfriend grew up in Bandera, Texas, so she did a lot of the same shit that you're talking about here. It's kind of crazy. I
It's
look
kind
at
of
it.
a flex though. So like
It's
at
kind of
least to
cool.
me-
Yeah. I'm always like, I can't imagine you doing any of that crap right now. But she had this whole life, man.
This is probably why they don't get sick like the city people, right? Because
for
they're
real,
around animals all the
yeah.
time.
I walk
Probably.
outside and I'm like,
With the allergies.
yeah, fucking sucks. Yeah.
Horrible.
All right, so y'all do nutrition. Y'all are saying chicken and rice. How do y'all eat now, currently?
Yeah, because I doubt that lasted very long.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
We love Chipotle.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of the fast food choices, Chipotle is maybe a better one.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
If you
love Chipotle.
if you absolutely
portion
had to
size it
choose.
right, right?
Yeah, and if you portion size it, yeah. If you
We get
door
the kids meal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's actually not a bad idea. $5, excuse me.
I remember when footlongs were $5.
Yeah. How much are they now?
They're like $6, $7.
God damn it. It's
$7.
because Jared. Damn it. Thanks, Jared.
Thanks.
Okay. all
Kid
right.
size. Okay, so like I think that's a great lesson for a lot of people is in America, a lot of people should get kid sizes.
True.
I think that's my problem is I want to go out and then I want to get the double cheeseburger.
I need fucking everything on the plate.
inside,
Yeah. It's so funny. When I took my trip to England, I was just laughing about that today. It's like, dude, they just like don't eat. It's not the
horrible.
same. Yeah, they have no food. And it's you barely, the portion sizes are so much smaller and you eat so many less times during the day. Like hanging out with my girlfriend's family and stuff, they were literally like stressed out. They were like, "Why is he eating so much?" Like, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I'm dying over here. Yeah, it's like they have like breakfast and then they have one main meal, is what they call it, of the day, and that's fucking that's it. That's all.
crazy.
Yeah, it's no wonder they're so small, man.
I
It's
know.
like, yeah,
And drunk.
And drunk.
yeah.
Because they drink beer all day.
They drink tea, smoke cigarettes, and alcohol, and that's like all they do in between. So
beer-
it's like, is it really healthier?
I
You know,
know,
is it
like-
really? Yeah.
The beer's hot.
It's really not. It's not.
Oh,
hot.
my
No,
God.
it's okay. It's
Okay.
just like it's a little bit colder than room temperature.
Oh my god. Warm
It's like if
is
you
what
set
you're
your
saying.
beer
Do y'all want a
out.
beer right now, by the way?
No, we're good.
That's so funny. Yeah, one of my clients just took a trip to Italy too,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a super small guy. Like he's maybe about the same height as you are. He weighs like 130, and he was like, "Man, all the clothes over there fit me so perfect, but when I'm here, it's so much harder to try and find anything that's. It's just different cultures and lives and stuff
You
like
just need to
that."
get some gains.
I know. Yeah, why don't you just eat some food?
The answer.
Okay, cool. So then if you guys are kind of a little bit more, I guess, maybe inconsistent with working out right now, what are y'all looking to do? Do y'all have any goals at the moment?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping
That's okay.
for the
That's
best.
okay. Yeah. And I think that that's a goal sometimes too.
I guess my goal would just be to like be consistent again. Like it's hard.
Okay.
It's
It
hard
is,
after
yeah.
having that whole month
And
and a
as
half
you guys
off. It's
come
hard.
more into your adult lives, it's
Yeah.
going to get fucking
Harder.
harder.
Yeah. So this is kind of like I was thinking about earlier today. Like, do y'all want to be mothers later in life?
I
Yeah.
do.
Later, probably.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to say tomorrow.
She's
But-
like 55.
55. So, like, this is where, like, y'all have a habit right now of working out like 6 times a day or 6 times a week. And you think, like, oh, I have to hit the gym that much. And you could get a lot of results if you go maybe twice a week. And you'll see, I get a lot of clients who actually get stronger, can lose weight just off of 2 days a week.
How long do you guys work out when you are in the gym?
Well, with both of us, it's like 3
Oh.
4 hours.
Yeah. Because
We're
you're just fooling around.
We're just
Yeah,
yapping.
this is
the
why I
whole
can't
entire
work out
time.
with this guy either. We don't get shit done.
But
Yeah.
by myself, I'm usually there for like an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah. Do you find that it's difficult to find that time to do an hour every day?
I mean, yes and no. Yes, because when I was busy, like I didn't have time for it. But no, because sometimes that laziness mindset gets in, and it's just like, do you really want to go? You've missed this whole week, so might as well just skip the whole rest of the week.
Might as well just fuck
you
the
know?
rest of it over.
Yeah, so it's like, you already messed up. Just end it. And that's what usually gets me. But now I'm just trying to be more consistent. But
Okay.
it's hard.
Yeah. How many days a week do you feel like you're getting now?
Like 5
Okay.
or
That's
like
really
4.
good. Yeah.
Okay, 4 to 5. I try and manage it.
Are you still doing a split? Like, are you still doing a lower body, upper body type thing?
I haven't done upper body in forever. I've been doing just more lower body.
Have you,
and walking.
Have you? I know this is kind of our spiel and our thing, but have you either of you ever done just a full body workout instead of doing a split, where you're just doing legs, just doing upper body?
Nope.
No.
I think maybe like once,
What's-
but it's not part of my like.
What's the I guess the hesitation on it, or why not? Is it just because of habit? You're used to doing the other way?
I guess, and just because I feel kind of awkward just walking around the gym, hitting every station there. And
It's so funny.
everyone's like,
I've had people tell me the same thing too.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I feel like I'm just running around, and I'm like,
Literally.
It just shows you how much people are programmed through the fitness industry, fitness influencers, that you need to do
That's true.
body part splits and hit this
Yeah.
much volume per body part on this one day. And it's crazy because when I wrote a program, or I gave him a program, and I did Ethan's program, they're like 3 full body days, and then there's like 2 like focus kind of days, or like half days kind of. And y'all got like the best results off that,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I've run a split maybe like once. in like my
wow.
whole, like, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, wow, I've been working out for like 10 years.
And you've gained a lot of muscle
In
since then.
oh my God. Yeah. It's fucking completely different than I used to be. Like I used to be like 120 pounds.
Okay,
I'll show
slay.
y'all a picture. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, skinny legend.
Okay,
Yeah.
slay.
I'll show y'all pictures because it was like, it's fucking, like you look at me. I think I've shown you.
Yeah.
I made a post about it. You guys can probably just go look and look at it. But it's like, what the fuck? Like there's no way that's the same person. But I've only ever done really full body types of workouts. And I think the thing is too, is that when you're doing maybe less volume per body part, like if instead of doing a whole leg day, this is gonna sound crazy, but let's just say on that day, all you did was squat and then you went and did the rest of your day. You can do so much more in that one, 3 set of squatting. You can put so much more weight. There's more intensity that you can do because you don't have to save yourself for the other 8 different leg exercises that you're gonna do.
True.
And doing that, you get so much more volume out of it and so much more intensity because at the end of the day, your muscles don't really know anything, right? They're muscles. They don't have any consciousness.
True.
All they know is tension and all they know is how much volume is kind of being put through them. And so if you can kind of maximize that through one set of something, you can get a lot out of it instead of doing a bunch like, tell me a leg day. Like, what is y'all's leg day? If you could give me an average one.
Hip thrusts,
Okay.
Bulgarian
What do you
squats.
start? Like, go from the beginning to end.
Okay. With hip thrusts, I think I do like 45s as a warm up, and then go up to like a 45 and a 35.
Okay.
I don't know math, so I
It's
can't.
okay. The exercises. So hip thrust first, and then
Yes,
you go
and
into.
then I go into Bulgarian split squats.
Okay.
Which are like 40 pounds, and then I go to either hamstring curls, the little curl
Like the machine?
ones. Yeah.
Uh-huh, okay.
Or the RDLs. It depends on
Okay.
how I'm feeling. And then those seated leg curls,
Okay.
and that push leg press.
Okay.
Not the one where you're like backwards, but the one. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Okay. That's not too bad. I think 5 exercises is kind of
5
okay.
exercises is not bad.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is by the time you're getting to like that 4th and 3rd one, because they're all bigger movements, you're probably exhausted,
Oh yeah.
right?
And hungry.
And so you're
Thinking about
probably
Chipotle already.
Yes, Chipotle.
no more kids meal. So you're probably getting to those last 2 exercises and you're really not getting anything out of the volume. It's called junk volume, right? That's what a lot of people call it. Where if you would split that volume up to another day, you probably could go at a higher weight, higher intensity, and get more out of that volume. So I think what Nathaniel's trying to say is like maybe Monday you come in and you do your deadlift, right? And that's it. You do your sets. And then Tuesday you come do those hamstring curls, the glute bridges,
Your accessory
lifts,
stuff.
right? Then you come back on Wednesday, you go hit your hip thrust, the big movement. You get the most out of that hip thrust as much as possible. Thursday, you come back and do maybe the other things like the leg extensions, the other accessory movements that you want for your glutes as well. And then Wednesday, you go and squat. And so you have 3 big movements that you can have a high intensity, and then you send a signal the other days as recovery to that area again.
And doing that helps tell your body, I need to continue to make these adaptations. I need to continue to grow without having to do so much of that junk volume. So let me give you like a example kind of full body day. So let's say you went to the gym 3 days a week. I know y'all are already like, what the fuck? No, so 3 days a week, right? And I think that might be something that could save you right now, right? You could maybe be more consistent at 3 days a week. You could maybe have more time if you're going to school right now. What the fuck? I wouldn't have time to go to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Hell no.
It's hard.
So if I were to say like, hey, you do 3 days a week, 1 hour a day each time, and I promise you might even make better gains, if not equal gains that you're making now. The way that it would probably set up is if you guys are trying to do lower body more, right? You want to start with the lower body so that the first thing you do, you're fresh, you have the most energy. You would do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Let's say Monday, like you said, you squat. Wednesday, you do hip thrusts. And then Friday, you do deadlift, right? Go ahead. You have a question?
Yeah, but what about like your whole upper body at this point?
So that's what the full body would come in, right? So I'm
okay.
starting with that, and then let's say my workout's going to be, I would say anywhere from like 6 to 8 exercises, right? So I'll do my barbell squat the first day. Next, I'll go into a bench, and then I'll hit a row, and then some shoulders, and then maybe biceps, triceps, and core, right? So now I've have all of my body parts are getting hit that day, and then I have that second day in between, right? To where if you do want to come in and you do want to do your leg curls and things like that, you have that space to do it. And then Wednesday you come in and you do another full type of body day. You do barbell hip thrust. Maybe you do an incline dumbbell bench press instead. You hit some different things. She's like, well, I've never what?
This is so good. This is a good workout
Yeah.
plan.
So let me interrupt a little bit. Like, let's
That'll
say
be
you want,
$100.
so you want to hit legs, right? And you're doing your hip thrust on Wednesday. Well, why not program a barbell bent over row? Because now you're in that bent over position. You're still using your hamstrings on top of that. So now you're hitting your glutes and hamstrings while doing a row.
Right,
so now you're getting more leg volume without even thinking about it.
And the thing is that on those days, like I said, if you're going to hit that squat, hey, if I know I can do really heavy on a squat, but I normally don't because I'm hitting it as my third exercise, or I just know, damn, I've got 6 other leg movements to do today, so I'm going to go a little bit lighter on my squat. I get so much more out of it. And we know that those are like the 3, if you want to grow legs, you need to be doing all 3 of those movements. Absolutely. Now, then we kind of run into this issue, right, where you're like, well, what if I have an injury, right? Yeah. What if I have an issue doing barbell back squat? What if I can't do that? And then that's where you have to kind of play with it and figure out, well, what will the programming look for me?
Yeah, that's where like you take barbell back squat, Bulgarian split squat.
Because at the end of the day,
right,
it's a single leg squat. Right. You're still doing the same kind of compound movement. I'm just doing it in a way that you can do it.
Right.
And then you got like the deadlift. You could do a single leg RDL, but supported, right? Like an A stance. Right. And then hip thrust, you pretty much it's not going to really affect that much, right?
Yeah,
the hip
true.
thrust overall. But you could do glute bridges or anything like that.
And there's always options and things to switch around. And I think that's important to hear too, where it's, those are great exercises, but there's also variations of those that you can do. You have a question? I feel like no, you sure?
She's just interested.
Yeah, I'm interested.
She's just mind blown.
I really am by this whole workout plan.
Yeah. So I bet if you guys were to try something like that, I think so we talk a lot about this thing called novel stimulus. And so that means if I've done a split for the last 3 years, my body's probably pretty used to doing a split. And I may not, this is what people call a plateau, right? Where they're like, I plateaued, I'm not making any more gains. Yeah, right? And so just changing your programming into something else sends that what's called novel stimulus, or just a difference to your body to where it goes, oh, I haven't done this before. Now I need to make changes. I'm not used to this. It's there's this old video from Arnold, and he was talking about people who do this, and that your body already knows, like, oh, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my leg extensions next. Oh, after that becomes the leg curls, right? And you're not making any progress anymore. You're probably staying at the same weights or maybe progressing very slowly. So you might want to try just doing something different. This brings me to my next question. Do you guys ever change your rep ranges? How many sets you do? Or are you always kind of in that like maybe 12 to 15, 8 to 10?
I've recently been trying to. I've been trying to do like heavier sets with like lower reps.
Okay. Like how many reps?
I mean, I used to do like 12 to 15, but now I do like 8 to 10.
Cool. Okay.
A little progress, I know, right?
Yeah,
and
that is, yeah.
That's usually what I do. That's
how many sets do you do?
I'm like 3 or 4.
Okay. What about you?
I was going to say, it depends also like what I'm trying to get to. Like if I'm wanting to, I guess, shred or like, I'm not shredded, but if I wanted to be trying to do, I do more reps with like, and that whole situation. And then like I don't know if that's like good science behind that. And then I do like heavier, but smaller to like not max out essentially, but I think it helps me like build muscle a little bit better and switch it up.
Edwin, I'm going to tag you.
I know he's like ready to get it. He's like, no.
Stop talking.
I have a question. What rep range do you think grows the most muscle?
I always like from like what I was told. So I did a lot of conditioning. I played sports in high school. I was always told the less, but the more weight you use is better. But whenever you're first getting into it, they told me that like 12 to 15, like what she said, helps your body get used to it. And then once you like kind of like switch it up type of things, your body doesn't get used to it. But for like to answer your question, like flat on lower like reps and lower and like higher weight.
Oh, so like a powerlifting style.
Yeah.
So there's like no truth to it, right? So each rep range, and this is where this novel stimulus comes in, builds muscle. So typically our programs that we have on Strength Solutions is you do about 3 weeks of like heavy lifting to 6 weeks. Then you go 3 to 6 weeks of 8 to 12 rep range, and then you do 15 to 20 reps on the last rep range, right? For 3 to 6 weeks. Each of those, you get a new stimulus. If you did the same exercise, you'll get a new stimulus. The rep range does not matter for muscle growth. I mean, powerlifters look big, bodybuilders who do a lot of reps look big. Does not matter. What really matters when we talk about building muscle or getting lean, like you said earlier, is are you in a calorie surplus or are you in a calorie deficit? So if you're in a surplus, that's the only way to build muscle, right? And a lot of girls are like, I want to build a butt, but they stay in a deficit. And I'm like, you're never going to build a butt.
For real?
Never gonna.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Say that in the mic real quick.
For real?
Yes.
No way.
Right?
Yeah, because
So they're trying to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
What is your body going to do when it loses weight? It's going to try to preserve as much as it can. And also, muscle is expensive tissue, right? And if it's trying to preserve, it's going to get rid of muscle.
So here's
Right.
here's like an analogy that I like to use so people can understand that. So like a budget, right? If I have $2,000, right, 2,000 calories, right, every day, and I need to spend it every single day, I have to spend 2,000 calories. If I'm on a budget, right, I might need to cut costs somewhere. So what do? You look at something and you're like, what's the most expensive thing that I'm paying for right now? Maybe it's my stupid subscriptions or my car payment, or in this case, it would always be muscle. Muscle is going to be the most expensive thing on your body's budget. So it's going to say, well, I only have $2,000 right now. That's less than I normally have. So I'm going to cut down on spending on muscle. So what it does is it actually removes muscle. It's going to pare down how much muscle you have. And so if I'm in a deficit, one of the things, there's no way around it, you're going to lose muscle. So if I'm trying to build a butt, right, if I'm trying to build muscle, I can't do it if I'm not feeding myself. Right. So you need to have a surplus of calories or be getting in enough protein, or actually both, right, in order to build muscle. You need both of those things. Now, when I say surplus of calories, I don't mean you need to eat 1,000 more calories every day or get 3 kids' meals from Chipotle, right? It can be anywhere from 100 to 200 to 300, depending on how much or how quickly, I guess you could say, you want to bulk. I think anywhere beyond maybe like 500 is maybe too much. You're going to end up putting on a lot of fat at the same time. But there's also a lot of nuance because it depends on what you're eating, what types of food, the quality, how much protein is in those things. So I guess that kind of takes us to like another area too. How much protein do you guys think that y'all eat?
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Chipotle.
How many meals a day do you guys have?
Probably like 2.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm a big snacker. Oh yeah, I know.
Danger.
I know.
Oh, what do you
big
snack on?
You don't want to know.
Nope, tell us now.
Gummy bears.
Yeah.
No, I'm a Latina, so
Oh, God.
I
Are we at the
I
Takis?
eat
She gets the salt.
Takis, cucumber and salt,
Okay.
some tahini. on the
Cucumber and
cookies.
salt. What a pre-workout, bro. That would actually
That
really
would be
good.
pretty good,
It's
yeah.
really good, and it keeps you hydrated.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like, I kind of like that idea.
But yeah, like pickles.
Oh my gosh, she loves
Okay.
her pickles.
I love
At least
pickles.
they're not high calorie
loves-
foods.
They're not high calorie
Pickles.
foods. They're high sodium foods. I will say that.
Oh,
Dude,
Yeah.
tell me
Yeah.
about it. The next morning, my face gets all enchana, all puffy, all puffy. It's
You're like,
horrible.
is that the same girl?
Kendall's
No,
fucking loving it,
literally.
dude. Yeah.
Me.
No, because it's so
exposed.
true. Because what we'll do is we'll just eat pickles and then watch a movie, go to bed, and we'll both wake up
It's
swollen.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Swollen. And then we
hungover,
get sit in the
Fingers are
sauna
like all
hoping it'll help.
swollen.
floating out of the room. Well, okay. What about you? How much protein do you feel like you get per day?
It depends. So
Okay.
I work full time, like most people, some people. Anyways, so I get so busy at work, I honestly don't eat till I get home.
I hear this a
So
lot.
like I only have like one meal and then like some caffeine in the morning because I'm
Okay.
so busy. My body just kind of like forgets that I'm hungry.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I would challenge both
I know,
of
I was
you.
gonna say, I know it's probably not good.
Not even try and get more protein in right now, but maybe even just start to track and learn how much protein you're getting in right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women I find too, in general, most of the population are under proteined, right? So we're just not getting enough protein, but we're getting a surplus of calories. So you're getting a lot of carbs, we're getting a lot of fats, those highly palatable processed foods, fast food, chips,
Chipotle.
right?
Sodium.
Yeah, a lot of sodium, right? And these are things that your body in general really needs, but only to a certain extent. And right now we're in a world where all of that shit is just widely available and easy to just fucking smash a bag of chips, right? And I'm victim number one too. Like I do the same shit. We're just like y'all. But I would probably challenge y'all to see how much protein you're getting, because I can imagine if maybe Chipotle is your highest protein meal of the day.
Chick-fil-A.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you may be around like maybe 60 grams, right? At like, and that's maybe being a little liberal and
like 60 to
generous.
80. I would give you that
Yeah,
range.
yeah.
Which is not nearly enough probably for your
No.
body weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it your body weight?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
So generally, right, we usually tell people that you want to eat about 1 gram per pound of body weight. Now, I think for y'all, this would probably go, if you're leaner, right, then that kind of goes well. Now, if I'm a 300-pound individual who doesn't work out, no, I'm not looking for you to get 300 grams of protein, right? I'm looking for you to get your lean body mass in terms of protein. What I usually tell people in that case, if they don't have a way to get that, like if they don't have a body scan machine or some fucking way to figure that out, I'll just tell them what's your goal weight. And then aim for that much, right? So if I'm 300 pounds and my goal weight is 150 pounds, okay, try and get 150 grams of protein, right? Because that's probably, honestly, their lean body mass at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason we say 1 gram per pound of body weight is because we know you're going to fall short at the end of the day.
Yeah, if anything, I might even tell y'all like 1.2 grams, right? Because you're going to see it and you're going to be like, fuck, that's 180 grams of protein, right? You're not going to get it, right? You're going to fuck up, or you're going to
probably be closer to 0.8. That's where we want to get you eventually,
right.
was 0.8 to your...
Because at the very least, that's enough to... That's the recommended dietary amount. That's like how much like a person.
The RDA is actually a lot lot because it's based off of just like human needs.
Yeah.
But 0.8's like I could build a little bit of muscle and
you
feel
might
good.
Start to get somewhere. And the fact of the matter is that y'all probably aren't even there.
Yeah.
And so if you do start to get that 0.8, you might actually be like, oh shit, like this is enough. And then over time, it does become easier to eat protein and things like that, because it's hard to eat lean. It's I mean, you guys have done it, right? Chicken and rice. I mean, like how long did that last, y'all?
We actually did. It was as long as we attended the college we were going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
About a year. Like we did 1 or 2 semesters.
That's pretty good.
That's fucking awesome. That's a lot longer than most people make.
We were with each other every single day. We kept each other consistent.
And that's really good. And in that time, did you guys see changes?
I mean, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay. Yeah.
I was also partying, so.
Oh, okay.
This is real.
We got the balance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the
balance. Okay.
Yeah, so I would challenge you guys to kind of check that out and see, and I bet you that you'll start to see changes kind of happening if you did those things. So kind of we talked about changing to maybe a full body routine, right? Trying to track your protein a little bit more, and in that, I don't want to overwhelm with a lot of information, but probably calories too. I could probably imagine that both of you are maybe not getting enough calories, or you may be getting enough, but the composition of those calories maybe isn't what you guys actually need.
Yeah.
Which leads me to think that's why if y'all are having pain or you're not recovering from your wrecks, nutrition plays a role in recovery, and nobody talks about that. So you're not getting enough protein, so therefore you're never going to recover from the accident, or tissue's not going to get better.
I always thought that too. I worked in a physical therapy clinic for a while, and I always wondered like why they never put them on some sort of meal plan or something. Like, why are these people not in a caloric surplus or
at maintenance at least,
or to maintenance
right?
at least, or getting enough protein or whatever it is, because you need all of those things in order to recover. It's the same concept of working out. Every time you go to the gym and you work out, you quote unquote injure your body, right? You're doing things to your muscles, you're damaging them, and then we tell you go home, go to bed, get enough protein, drink a bunch of water, because you need to recover. And if you're not doing those things, you're spinning your wheels at the gym. You're going to go 5 days a week and fuck all's going to happen. And you're going to get annoyed, and you're going to wonder why nothing's going on or why I'm plateauing or whatever. And it mostly comes down to nutrition.
I was going to say, like, from my personal experience, after she left, so we kind of talked about how we were eating a lot cleaner, but we ate the same thing every single day. So, like, one of my questions, like, for, like, the both of you, and something, like, I struggled with, and I know some of my friends do, too, is I was becoming so excited and consistent with the gym. It became, like, almost an obsession, so I wasn't eating as much, so I slimmed down fast, and I got really sick from it. And so I know like mental health is super important in working out, because when people plateau, that affects their mental health, right?
Yeah.
Like you get real, like the way you think about yourself, your worth and all that really hits that. So like what's a way that mentally you can help avoid that, and also like not making working out like an obsession, but rather a hobby?
What a fucking awesome question. That was really good.
That was a really good question.
Yeah, that is. So I'm going to take this in kind of this direction here. So I go to therapy, and me and my therapist have been working together for a very long time. And she had a client who had that issue. Like that was why they were in therapy, was to like work through that. Yeah.
Lovely.
And like as a personal trainer, she was like, can I ask you like a question about like how to deal with this? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And so one of the things that I think that we need to talk about too is how overtraining, right, can also be a detriment to your goal in the end. Now, while it's, rare or depending on how you're lifting and stuff like that, every time you're in the gym, you are putting yourself at risk, right? In some way to maybe get injured if you're being stupid or whatever. So one of the main things that I would tell her is like, I would kind of reiterate to them that the recovery is important, right? You need that time. And if you're in the gym every day, fucking yourself up, number one, like I said, you're probably not going to make any progress. Two, you're putting yourself at a larger risk for injury, which could at the end of the day actually hinder your time going to the gym, right? And if that's your whole like thing, right, kind of like a little bit of reverse psychology here is like, hey, if you want to keep going to the gym, you should probably go to the gym less, right? Because you're putting yourself at a risk to get injured or have something that kind of set you back. Now, I think there's a lot of other aspects to that too.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is changing your goal. I think we look at fitness as just aesthetics and strength. Why not think about how's it going to help me? You want to be a nurse? Yes. How am I going to lift clients up or patients up? I want to get better at that. So like doing things like Zerchers, you probably never done those things, and doing those exercises, changing up your whole, maybe I'll lift like someone who's doing a kettlebell all the time, right? Or animal flow, and changing up your goals is a great way to get out of your head. I think too many times it's just this one focus and it's aesthetics, and then you get obsessed. And that's usually the one that people struggle with. Yeah. The second one is I need to lift this much weight because I've been told by fitness I'm supposed to lift like 2 times my body weight squat, at least my body weight or whatever, bench, stupid metrics that don't mean anything, and learning to lift for life instead of I want this goal because I've been told this is my goal.
And sometimes even, again, I know this is a little bit more difficult, but sometimes even taking a break, right? Kind of removing yourself from that environment of being there all the time, right? Like take a week off and then go back to the gym, and you're going to be like, oh, number one, I probably feel a little bit better. I might be able to lift the same, if not more, because I took that time off. And it's going to kind of reiterate yourself, because a lot of like therapy or like getting over anxiety or getting over those things is, I got to put it into like workout terms because it's just how my brain works. But it's like putting in reps, right? You have to do it over and over and over again, because your brain essentially needs to learn that and like reinforce these pathways of this is okay, I'm not gonna die, right? Or I'm not gonna gain 10 pounds because I didn't hit the gym 8 times this week, And so kind of removing yourself from that and then coming back into it and realizing like, oh, I'm okay, I'm the same weight, I can lift the same, or whatever it is, kind of reiterates to your brain like, oh, I don't need to be here 6 days a week. I can take a break, or, my whole goal isn't going to disappear because I missed the gym on Friday,
I think it's perfect. We have both of you here too. How would you talk to her and how would you talk to her?
Oh, see, yeah,
right?
That's
you would not be negative, right?
No,
never.
Right? Then why are you negative to yourself?
Right. And then we do that.
That.
and we one of the things is that if you wouldn't say it to a friend, then don't say it to yourself. And so if you're in the mirror and you're like, oh, I'm overweight, or I don't look good, or whatever, blah blah blah, what would she tell you? She'd be like, no, you look fucking awesome. Or you've been hitting the gym so consistently. It doesn't matter if you took a week off, like blah, 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 blah. Right. You have
just
all
still humble me at that.
And I think that's important too, right? Because, hey, if you haven't been in the gym in 3 months, all right, come on.
Let's go, girl. We got places to be.
Right. And so think of those things. I think that's important to do. I don't know why. I've kind of mulled this over to myself a couple times and just kind of contemplated it. But I don't know why we tend to be so negative to ourselves.
It's evolutionary.
Right? It's evolutionary. I think so. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why.
Just like if there was like a lion in the area, right? We'd be all negative about it and like, hey, we got to get away. Because it's just what we do. We try to protect our kids by telling scary stories so they don't go do something.
God, I hate that shit. Yeah.
Is that what happened to you?
Fuck yeah, dude. Especially in like Hispanic culture. Oh my God. It's like, dude, how many scary stories can I tell you? Just go the fuck to bed.
Dude,
Ask me
it's
questions.
scary.
Yeah. I was like riddled with nightmares when I was a child.
Yeah.
Same.
Dang.
Talk about my anxiety now. God damn. Yeah.
It's okay. I can't watch any scary movies.
Okay, I like scary shit. I think that's my way of like
Coping with it?
Coping with it,
I
like and controlling it.
cannot.
Yeah.
Ew.
But I think that's a good thing to say. I don't know. Yeah.
I think because we respond to negativity more than anything else. Think about like what y'all see on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram when people stitch this other fitness influencer. It's always something negative to gather your attention, and people thrive on negativity. And so that's why you want to surround yourself by people who are positive and who set you up and make you want to be better. And that's why me and Nathaniel talk all the time. Like, how can I make your situation better, or how can I help you out? Versus, us taking turns, turning each other down, tearing each other down.
And that's something to watch out for too in general is that sometimes we go to friends, right, to talk about feelings and things like that, and they'll validate us, right, and say, yeah, fuck that bitch, right, or whatever it is, right. And in reality, you think it's helping, and it does, I think, in some ways, especially if it's like a serious situation.
Right.
Nobody is validating you, and then you finally get that validation. I think that's important, but also to be careful and not to enter into a cycle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of continuing that sort of like negative sort of talking and things like that. So in terms of the gym and in terms of evolution as well, we don't have a lion outside, right? If we walk outside, there's rarely anything that we need to be scared of anymore, right? Except for maybe drastic things.
Your lion's right here.
Yeah.
Your lion.
Right. And so, and he's making a joke about that, but it's the reality is that we've kind of,
because it's true.
we've kind of changed our concept of what is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And so when you think about the gym, right, you change that danger into being, oh, well, I'm going to gain weight. I'm not going to like the way I look. I don't know. My friends aren't going to like me. I don't know, whatever it is, right? And so you hyperfixate on that. And then you kind of fall into this negative spiral of like, it's just this continuation of something. And so you need to catch yourself in those moments and sort of pull yourself out and say, okay, nothing is going to fucking happen, right? Like I said, right? Or maybe remove yourself from the situation in general, because now, well, if I tell myself I'm not going to go to the gym this week, then who cares if I miss a day, right? I'm not going all week anyway. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter, right? And so these are ideas, things that you can do if it does become sort of that addiction type thing, because it's real, right?
It is. It's so real.
People go in those extremes, right? We know people like that, right?
I was like that. I did a marathon and went and run another marathon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is commitment.
Yes.
Could never.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and it could be anything too, right? Like it doesn't always have to be the gym. It could be worse things. Could be.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is too that we tend to look at the gym or the way that we've kind of put it on social media or to each other and things like that. It's like it's a good thing. Right? Oh, you go to the gym 7 days a week? Wow. Oh my God. Awesome. Yay. Good job.
Beast
yeah.
mode, baby.
Yeah.
Beast
You're
mode.
so, man, I wish I was like you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, this shit's fucking tearing me up, man. Like if I miss a day, I want to cry, you know? And so I think that we also need to change that sort of perspective that we have around it. And just kind of understand that it's not really the same for everybody.
It's not that deep.
I was literally
Yeah.
about to
It's
say,
really
not
not.
that
Yeah.
deep.
It's not that deep. Right.
No, yeah. It's just all part of life, right? Just
Yeah. And I think adjusting to that too, like Edwin's talking about, like in the future, if you guys become mothers, or in the future, if work is really hard and I'm working 60 hours a week, I have to adjust my workout schedule to that. Because if I continue to think, well, I need to make it 7 days a week, but I'm working 60 hours a week, well, all you're going to do is fucking stress yourself out and get nowhere.
I was going to say that was the biggest struggle when I first started working full time, going to school full time, and then trying to work out
What the fuck?
I did it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I cut back. She was also home too. So I was like, my workout partner isn't even with me. And so like that was like the biggest struggle for me. And I had to learn how to balance school, work, working out, and my social life that I thght was like important to me, right? It's summer. And even in general, I think it's
and
important.
I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, so social life is a huge part
It's just
of
overbearing
fitness.
can sometimes like even lead to like the plateau in the gym and whatnot as well with your like self-worth.
So probably the best workout for you would have been like doing a yoga video at your house. You're already at a high stress level, bring your stress down, doing just some movements, one pain, it'll help that, relax the body a little bit. And then maybe doing like 1 day of actual strength training. On the day that you know you're off completely, just do a full body routine right there.
I was going to say hot girl walks were like my favorite during that
Dude,
time.
yeah. And I think that we have to understand too that working out isn't always an hour in the gym or hitting legs like crazy. Sometimes it's a 20-minute yoga video at home, right? And that still counts. And that's still important. And that still is progress. And that still is you doing something rather than doing nothing. Right? Because like you said, sometimes you're like, fuck it, I haven't been to the gym all week.
I'm not going.
Fuck it. Yeah. Let's just make it all week.
Literally.
You know? Yeah. And sometimes I understand we get burned out or whatever it is, right? And maybe you do need that break. But I always think for sure something is always better than nothing.
Yeah, most definitely.
You have any other questions? Doesn't have to be about fitness. Anything.
Actually, when we were talking about the whole, no, it's nutrition related.
Okay.
We'll stay on topic for a second, but like I've heard a lot about recently about two different diets, like intermittent fasting and the carnivore diet.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We were just talking about it because you were talking about protein.
So what exactly about them?
One of my friends,
This is good.
He's a good friend of mine. He is like an influencer type of guy, and he's been posting everything, how many miles he's been running, his cut back, and all that stuff. And right now he's going through this carnivore diet, and he said that he was going to eat some raw.
Okay.
It's for clicks.
Is that like okay? Like, will you not die from it?
That's your question. What is your question? Is it the same thing or?
Well, mine was more of like we talked about like protein. At what point, like even if like you're in the best shape of your life, what point is there too much protein and not is like if carbs are like important, like the keto diet or like where do because I've seen the carnivore diet too.
You guys are fucking awesome. Good
Dude,
questions.
these are really good
Yeah,
questions.
these are
then,
great
like,
questions.
Intermittent fasting. Sorry, I know it's like two questions.
No, go
but
ahead.
I have ADHD and I will forget what I was going to ask you like 5 minutes later.
That's great.
But anyways,
What are we talking about?
I know. But like my biggest thing is also the carnivore diet, but people have been talking about intermittent fasting. I think that's what it is, and it's where you have like that 12-hour, 8-hour break, 16-hour break, and then they cut their fast. But it has to be like certain foods or something.
Are they
is that healthy?
Are they okay?
You see where I'm going?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Let's just start like this. Every diet works. Every diet doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Let's break carnivore first.
Okay. Yeah.
Carnivore, how it creates a deficit. And this is what people don't realize. As long as you lose weight, you could get a gas station diet and lose weight and still get healthier blood work.
We even talked about in one of our podcasts, there was
like mini donuts,
guy,
right?
No, the ice cream.
Oh, the ice cream.
Yeah, he did an ice cream diet, right? Where all he did all day was eat ice cream from the gas station and went back to his doctor and had better blood pressure, better, all this stuff.
Cholesterol.
Yeah. And it was
A1C.
And it was
better.
not because of the ice cream. It was because he was in a caloric deficit.
And he lost weight.
And so you can even be in a caloric deficit if all I eat is ice cream all day, if all I eat is under the amount of calories I need to maintain my weight. Right.
That's
so if I eat
crazy.
one carton of ice cream and it's 1,300 calories and that's all I eat all day, well, of course I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah.
Right. Of course my blood markers are going to be better. Now, is that healthy? You
can't keep that forever, right?
Yeah. Well, she's like, well, maybe I can.
I'm like, an ice cream sounds good.
Okay,
I
so
think that sounds great.
Go.
let's talk about how all these diets create this deficit and make you healthier, right? So carnivore, what it does, because it is a lot of protein, it keeps you satiated. So you're full a lot longer. So try to eat a bunch of meat. You're not going to go after a certain point, you're going to stop.
Go home and try to eat 8 ounces of chicken just straight on a plate.
Oh, no.
Good fucking luck. Right. It's
I mean,
not
I
gonna
can do
happen.
that, but
Yeah. But it's like, it's hard, right? So number one, you can't eat as much as you would if you were eating carbs and fats, right?
That makes sense.
Those are a lot easier to eat. I can smash a bag of chips a lot easier than I can 8 ounces of chicken. While it may be metrically the same amount of weight, right? it's a different nutritional value, and it's harder to eat because what. So I'm gonna go into this real quick. So the reason that we are hungry, right, is because your body is looking for nutrition. It's looking for something. So when you eat something like a bag of chips, right, that is just carbs and fats and sodium, your body is like, I'm not full because I haven't gotten any nutrition from this. So I'm gonna keep eating it until something happens, until I feel like I've gotten something.
To get some
I know.
nutrient
Like,
dense
that's
food.
happened to me.
Yeah. And so I can eat 8 honey buns fast as fuck, right? But if you were to give me, like I said, 8 ounces of chicken, by 6 ounces, my body's like, cool, I got everything I needed from that. I don't want to eat anymore. And so that's the difference there. And that's why I can eat so much less chicken, right? And have a lot less calories and get so much more from that than I would ever eating 5,000 calories of honey buns because there's nothing in them.
That's so
Right.
real. I never even thought
Yeah.
about it like that.
Yes, and
about
so-
it being wow.
Yeah, and so Edwin talking about the carnivore diet here is that it's so highly nutritious, right?
Yeah.
You guys are like cracking up.
Sorry.
Y'all are so funny. And so I want to see if your friend actually does the actual carnivore diet, because if you're actually eating carnivore, you need to be eating like organ meats.
Ew.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you say he ran?
He
He runs.
He's like on this,
That's
little
like the worst thing
running
to do when you're running because
Yeah.
you need carbohydrates.
Because, and so to go into what she's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Are carbohydrates important? Are fats important? Is it all just about protein? Yes, those things are important. So someone who does endurance training like that, long distance running, marathon running, swimming, you need carbohydrates because carbohydrates are what create quick, fast energy. Protein gives you jack all in fucking energy.
Yeah.
It's
hard to convert.
It's the worst.
It's more muscle.
It's
more
it's
muscle-based.
for building, right? And it doesn't convert to energy well.
So pretend you're building a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're building this house, your foundation is like working out, right? But if you don't have any tools to do like put up the woodwork and stuff, the protein are the tools and workmen that go in there to build a house. If you only have one versus 20, it's going to take forever to build, right?
True.
So if you only have like a little bit of protein, like one person trying to build this big house, it's going to take you forever to build, right? If you have 20 of them, they go there and they could build and do their work. And that's where protein's vital to help you build that foundation
Right.
for all the chemical reactions in your body, not just building muscle, but there's a lot of amino acids that are used for other things in your body as
Protein does like literally fucking everything inside
Yes.
your body. So if you don't have protein, you're just not gonna be healthy. Honestly, it comes down to that in general. We talk a lot about it in terms of muscle building, but protein is it's a catalyst, and so it causes a lot of chemical reactions in your body, things that we don't talk about in fitness, right? That are happening all the time, and if you don't have them, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But like as we were saying, with the carnivore diet, you do need to be eating organ meats, things like liver and kidneys and shit like that people are like, huh? Is because those things are highly nutritious. Because think about them in your body, they're very important organs. They're loaded with blood supply. Blood supply has everything we need, right? That's where all of our nutrients are at. So eating those meats are fantastic. I mean, honestly, if anybody ate livers and kidneys, like it's fucking awesome. But no,
Ew.
yeah.
That doesn't
I'm gonna give
sound
a thumb
very
down to that
appetizing.
And you know what's crazy? Back then, that was like, if you're a guest into a tribe, that's what they would give you because that's the most nutritious part of the animal.
It's like the gift,
The
right?
gift, yeah.
To be eating things like that. She's like, yeah, fucking.
No.
She's like,
Like
How's
grass.
not happening?
yeah. She's like, have y'all heard of the pickle diet?
For real.
No Chipotle.
So carnivore is just another thing, I guess, that you could
Now,
do.
I do say there's like a percentage of people who thrive on this
Yeah.
because they're allergic to everything
Yeah.
except
True.
meat, right?
And-
So there's going to be people who thrive on this.
And so it's not the answer,
Yeah.
right? It's not the end all be all. It's not everybody should be doing carnivore, not by a long shot. If it works for you, then maybe it works for you. If you're already like kidneys and livers, that sounds fucking disgusting.
No.
Then probably don't go do carnivore diet, right? That's probably not going to be good for you.
And it's funny because a lot of these carnivore guys or zealots that were out there, they're starting to add things like honey, which is a carbohydrate, and sugar.
Can't
They're
do
like,
that.
it's okay. And now they're adding fruit. They're like, I feel much better with fruit. And now they're finding
no
out
shit.
we're humans, we're omnivores. Like we eat
supposed
everything.
supposed to eat everything,
Yeah.
right? Now, I think you asked
Intermittent
a specific
fasting was the
question.
next one.
No, she
Oh,
asked about eating raw food, right?
Oh, raw, yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay. So, I mean, I've had like beef tartare, right, which is raw meat. That shit kind of goes kind of hard sometimes, but it does need to be of a very high quality. You cannot just go to HEB and buy some ground beef and start going at it.
that's
Yeah,
gross.
you're gonna die. Yeah,
What
for
about,
sure.
like, the raw steaks? Like, would you take a bite out of that?
Dude,
If it's high quality,
it's gotta
you're
be
fine.
like super high quality. I gotta know where the fuck it's coming from.
what I'm saying, HEB.
Yeah, I gotta like it. You can. I would not recommend it, and it also has to be eaten within like a certain amount of time too.
Right.
Like you gotta eat that shit like day of or whatever it is. If you guys get a chance to eat beef tartare, though, I'd say try it. It's really good. Yeah,
I don't like raw food.
Yeah.
I like my steak like
like
burnt.
rubber.
Okay?
Yeah. The best
At least a
beef-
medium.
No.
the
That's
best beef
controversial.
tartare.
I like medium.
Yeah, the best beef tartare I've ever had is at this place called Battalion. It's here in town. Super good. I promise y'all. You go try it.
How about we invite you and Brandon and
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'll get a big ground beef tube
Yeah.
and we'll just eat it, you know?
God, no. I pass. I'll stay home. I'll get
Yeah, I'll have
Chipotle.
Chipotle, yeah.
yeah.
So that's carnivore kind of in a nutshell. I don't know if that answers your questions
No,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah. And then you kind of went into intermittent fasting, right? Okay.
Intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting, all it does is shrinks this window that you eat, right? So therefore, you can't snack. You're a snacker,
I'm a
right?
snacker.
It'd be so bad for you.
This
That would be so bad for me.
it just shrinks that window in which you
Or-
can eat. So therefore, you're less likely to eat a lot of calories.
Yeah.
So because your window's this big. Now for women, I caution them very hard on listening to their body and not doing intermittent fasting because your body's meant to do fertility, right? And therefore, if you cause a lot of stress, you're more hormone sensitive than a man is. And if you look evolutionary wise, most likely they want the woman and children to have food because they're the most sensitive, and men would go without food longer because we would have to hunt and go get it, right? And I think you can do intermittent fasting as a woman. Just be careful and listen to your body. If it's not working for you, which I've had one woman who tried it, she just stopped it and then went back to eating normal because fertility is the most important thing. It just shrinks your window overall. And there's different types and styles. Now, it allows you to be more fat adapted. So that just means using fat as energy a little bit more.
Because in those like fasting periods, you don't have carbohydrates, you don't have protein, so your body is going to use fat stores, right? Now that doesn't mean that you're going to be burning fat, right? Now that doesn't mean that suddenly the fat is melting off my
Right.
body.
With my girl math.
That's so funny. So number one, I caution you against that. Two, I tend to use intermittent fasting more as a tool to help with behavior around eating, as opposed to losing weight or doing any of those types of things. I think a lot of times we hear the word diet and we immediately think losing weight. Now that's not the reason for any of them really, right? You can use all of them to lose weight if you just eat less. I could eat less on keto and lose weight. I could do paleo and lose weight.
I can do high carb.
I could do high carb and lose weight. It doesn't matter. It just matters about how much caloric density there is, right, and how much you're eating of it. Now, depending on if I'm doing high carb, right, I'm not going to have as much protein, so maybe I won't build as much muscle. Right. But I think your running buddy should probably do maybe a high carb diet as opposed to doing carnivore, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think that would be more beneficial for them. But who knows? Maybe they do super well in carnivore. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. He's just starting, so I'll let y'all know.
Yeah. Let me know when he starts eating all the gross stuff like eyeballs.
So you're saying you pretty much like using intermittent fasting to detach from food.
So I use intermittent fasting as a behavior tool to change habits. So I find that people who are very attached to food maybe snack a lot, or maybe they use it as comfort food, or those types of things. I think intermittent fasting is a good way to kind of help with that detachment for a little bit. So now if someone has a major food issue, right, I'm not going to be like, well, for the next 16 hours, you're not going to eat. Because what the fuck are they going to do? They're going to freak out, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, I got to do it. They're going to last 1 hour and die, right? So I'd be like, hey, try and do 4-hour windows, right? Where for, from the morning from 7 to 11, right, you can eat breakfast, right? Take 4 hours in between that, and then for another 4 hours you can eat through that window, right? And you kind of break it up in that way so they don't feel this constant like, I need food right now. I need it. They know, okay, it's going to come within this time period. It's more, I find, more beneficial in terms of like habitual behavior changes and things like that. Now I intermittent fast out of like necessity as opposed to what I want to do. Same thing like you. I work, from the morning till, 3 p.m. and my first meal is at 4. Yeah. Right. And so it's not so much that I want to intermittent fast. That's just kind of the way that it is. The way it plays out. Yeah. Right. I totally relate. And so that works for me right at the moment. And so also I have like, if I eat food, that's it. The day's fucking done. I'm going to bed.
I'm
like
tired.
That's yeah. And so I find that in my day, I just do better without eating. Yeah. I'll have coffee or an energy drink or whatever. Yeah. And then, my first meal is at 4. Now my first meal at 4 is like the meal that like would be for 3 people. Cause I'm just like, wow. Now that's just me. Right. Not everybody may do that. But that's kind of the story behind intermittent fasting and the way that I would use it. And like Edwin said, if you are going to use it for weight loss, all it does again is just shorten the window that you're actually going to be eating food. Yeah. So right? Yeah. Of course I'm going to lose weight if I'm not eating all damn day,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for keto, it gets you satiated because fat kind of like slows your digestion. It's hardest to digest. And then you're eating protein as well. So that's how that works. And carbohydrates are just really easy to eat real fast. So it's just going to short that.
The last part of your question about carbohydrates and fats, right? Yeah, they are important. Yes, you do need them. They're not essential, right? Like you don't need
fat is essential.
Fat is essential.
Not carbohydrates.
Yeah, my bad. Carbohydrates are not something that
Bro, you just got us like a clickbait. These guys are saying fat's not essential.
That's what I'm going to title this episode. So carbohydrates are not essential for life. If you were not to eat carbs, you'd be fine. There would be a transitory period, right? Because your body is so used to eating carbohydrates. And your body runs off of, I'm sorry, your body, I'm pointing at my head.
Brain.
Your brain runs off of glucose, right? Runs off of sugar. So we were talking earlier about converting. Carbohydrates and fat are very easily converted into energy for your body. They have a shorter process to be made into energy. Fat takes a little bit longer, but you get more energy from each like molecule of fat than you would out of carbohydrates. So that's why people tend to do like keto, and they do okay. You go into ketosis, right? That's like the whole thing about keto is where you start to use fat as an energy source, right? And everybody's like, oh fuck, this is shit, right? And it's like you're not doing anything really. All you're doing is making it harder for your body to make energy, right?
So I think you're seeing the fallout too, why people are being more insulin sensitive too, right? Because they got fat adapted, and now they know how their body, they go use carbohydrates. They're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. And so
they lost muscle too, so they can't deal with the sensitivity.
That's why we have like diabetic issues and things like that. So like you said, we're starting to see that fallout. And I think at the end of the day too, it's just choosing a diet that's going to end up working for you. If you're more of a balanced person, then eat balanced. I think that's obviously the best way to go, right? Maybe some people do better with some more direction, right? Like if you're going to do keto, maybe it's just easier for you to be like, oh, protein and fat, easy. I don't have to think so much about every single little thing that I'm doing.
Yeah. And then I have a client today that I did a consultation, literally told me how she ate. She literally eats in a deficit all week, and she does really poorly on the weekend. But she's at a weight that she's fine with. Oh. So if you get to the point, it makes maintenance is a lot easier than it is to get there. Yeah, right.
You can actually eat a little bit more than you would think. To maintain. I mean, I've been around 205 pounds for the past fucking, like 2 years. Damn. And I don't track my calories. I don't do anything. This is just kind of where I sit at the moment with how I eat. I'm fine with it. I feel strong. I feel like I look fine. I'm happy, right? And that's okay for me, right? Some people aren't at that point yet. But I think that when you do get to that point, you can go into a maintenance and it's kind of like, oh, fuck, finally, I don't have to like worry about all this stuff.
There's your mental health too.
It's talking about mental health too, right? Real. Yeah. If you have been chasing this cut for a long time, or if you have been chasing this bulk for a long time, fucking maintain for like 3 months and just give yourself a break, dude. And, if you have so many other things that you're thinking about, work, school, whatever it is, like, why add something else? If you're like, mostly I'm okay with this. And I bet that you'll find in those 3 months, you'll probably become a lot more content with yourself, and just have like better self-esteem in general.
Yeah. And talk about weight too. Like every time they're like, I want to lose weight, I guarantee you tell me, I'm not going to make y'all tell me what y'all's weight is. And I'd be like, just stay the same weight and just slowly change the quality of tissue on your body. And I bet you mentally it's a lot better for you, and you're going to feel stronger and more energized that way.
Maybe you don't even change how much you eat, but you change, like you said, the composition of it. So maybe you eat 2,000 calories a day, but you start eating a lot more protein within that 2,000 calories and maybe less carbohydrates and fat. And I bet your body composition will change. I bet your body fat percentage is going to go down. I bet you're going to build more muscle. I bet you're going to be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Any questions? Yeah. No.
I always have questions about everything. So
No.
I'm trying to
Yeah, you guys can always ask us later on too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know anything about Nathaniel's long hair? No,
Yeah, it's very
he stole it
beautiful.
off of me. And,
Every night I come to his house and I shave it again.
yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So
Awesome, guys.
All
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys had
Appreciate
awesome
it.
questions.
Thank you all for
Thanks
having
for,
us.
I know. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah.
it.
all right. All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, please share, like, subscribe. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. We're also on YouTube. Hit that button right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe down below. Then you can check out our videos as well on YouTube of our shorts of Nathaniel not doing exercises correctly according to YouTube people.
Yeah. They hate me on there.
I'm not a yoga instructor, but and then
Calling you out.
also you can check out our website, strengthsolutionspodcast.com. We have free blogs, free guides, and programs on purchase. Then if you want to email us future fitness questions for the regular podcast, it's strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. And our social media is Strength Solutions Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And on Instagram, I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Until next time, guys, what? Peace out.
Peace out.